The Crusades, the religious wars that shaped history. Hey, history fans! Today we're diving into one of the most fascinating and controversial periods in human history, the Crusades. These weren't just your average medieval battles, they were massive religious conflicts that completely transformed Europe and the Middle East and shaped the world as we know it today. But before we jump into the bloodshed and battles, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt so strongly about something that you'd travel thousands of miles to fight for it? Well, that's exactly what thousands of people did during the Crusades, except they did it on horseback and foot, wearing heavy armor in scorching desert heat. Talk about dedication. Let's set the stage for these epic wars. The year is 1071, and the Middle East is about to change forever. At the Battle of Manzikert, the Seljuk Turks deliver a crushing defeat to the Byzantine army. Imagine the shockwaves through the Christian world when this superpower falls. Over the next 14 years, until 1085, the Turks systematically captured every major Christian pilgrimage route. The Byzantine Emperor, Alexios I Komnenos, who grabbed the throne in 1081, realizes he's in deep trouble and does something unprecedented. He begs the Pope for help. Now picture this scene, November 27, 1095, at the Council of Clermont in France. Pope Urban II stands before a massive crowd. His speech was a masterpiece of medieval propaganda. Think the most viral medieval TikTok you can imagine. He sets a departure date of August 15, 1096, and by March, the First Crusaders are already packing their bags. Talk about an effective call to action. The response is so huge that people don't even wait for the official start date. By April 12, 1096, an unofficial movement called the People's Crusade was already on the move. Led by a charismatic preacher named Peter the Hermit. Picture a medieval influencer with a really impressive beard. This ragtag army heads east with more enthusiasm than training. By August, they reach Constantinople, and by October 21st, well, let's just say it doesn't end well at the Battle of Civito. The official First Crusade marks the beginning of an epic military campaign that would reshape the medieval world. As August 1096 dawned, 4 professional armies began their eastward march. Their first major victory came less than a year later, when on June 19, 1097, they captured the city of Nicaea in a brilliant display of cooperation with Byzantine forces. But the real test awaits at Antioch. The Siege of Antioch began on October 21, 1097, and it tested the Crusaders like nothing before. For 8 grueling months, they surround the seemingly impregnable walls. The disease spreads through their camps. Food runs scarce. But on June 3, 1098, through a secret deal with a guard inside the city, they finally breach the walls. Their victory celebration is short-lived, though, as a massive Turkish relief army arrives almost immediately. Yet somehow, on June 28th, these exhausted Crusaders pulled off a miracle, defeating the Turkish forces in an against-all-odds victory that contemporary chronicles attribute to the discovery of the Holy Lance. Their momentum continues to build. On July 15, 1099, after a brutal siege, Jerusalem fell to the Crusaders. The victory is complete, but the chronicles tell of streets running red with blood, a dark reminder of the true cost of religious warfare. With their victories secured, the Crusaders established their new kingdoms in the Holy Land. The Principality of Antioch came first in 1098, carved out of the conquered territories. The Kingdom of Jerusalem followed in 1099, becoming the crown jewel of the Crusader states. The county of Tripoli joined this new political landscape in 1102, while the county of Edessa, established between 1098 and 1144, serves as a crucial buffer against Muslim forces to the east. But holding these lands proves far harder than winning them. On Christmas Eve, 1144, the Muslim leader Zengi delivers a devastating blow by capturing Edessa. The loss sent shockwaves through Christian Europe, and on March 31st, 1146, the Second Crusade was proclaimed. What follows is a masterclass in how not to run a military campaign. The German army departed in May 1147, with the French following in June. By July 1148, their disastrous attempt to take Damascus had failed, and 1149 saw them limping home in defeat. The greatest drama of the Crusades unfolded with the Third Crusade, triggered when Saladin captured Jerusalem on October 2nd, 1187. Pope Gregory VIII wastes no time, declaring a new crusade just weeks later on October 29th. The response brings three of medieval Europe's most powerful rulers into the fray. Frederick Barbarossa, the German emperor, led his army east on May 11, 1189, but fate had other plans. In a cruel twist, this mighty emperor drowns while crossing a river on June 10, 1190. On July 4, 1190, Philip II of France and Richard the Lionheart began their journeys to the Holy Land. Richard's campaign becomes the stuff of legend. His forces captured Acre on July 12, 1191, followed by a stunning victory at Arsuf on September 7th. Yet even Richard's military genius can't recapture Jerusalem. The campaign ends with the Treaty of Jaffa on September 2nd, 1192, a compromise that leaves Jerusalem in Muslim hands but allows Christian pilgrims to visit the holy sites. The Fourth Crusade writes a different kind of history. What begins with Pope Innocent III's call to arms in August 1198 turns into a cautionary tale about debt and political manipulation. Unable to pay Venice for their ships by April 8, 1195, the Crusaders became pawns in a dangerous political game. The campaign reaches its shocking climax on April 12, 1204, when these Christian warriors sack Constantinople, the greatest Christian city in the world. By May 16th, they installed Baldwin I as Latin emperor, creating a Western puppet state that would last for decades. Just when you think things couldn't get stranger, the Children's Crusade of 1212 becomes one of history's most tragic tales. In March, a German boy named Nicholas of Cologne began gathering followers. By May, a French shepherd boy named Stephen of Cloyes joined the movement. Their belief? Pure faith would succeed where armed knights had failed. By August, their dream ends in disaster, with many never even reaching the Mediterranean, and others allegedly sold into slavery. The final chapters of the Crusader states unfold like a tragedy in slow motion. Jerusalem fell for the last time in 1244, never to return to Christian hands. Antioch followed in 1268, its walls breached after decades of resistance. Tripoli holds out until 1289, but finally succumbs to the advancing Muslim forces. The last act plays out at Acre on May 18, 1291, when the final Crusader stronghold falls, marking the end of this two-century epic of faith, ambition, and warfare. But the Crusades left a legacy that extends far beyond the battlefield. They transformed medieval banking through the Knights Templar, revolutionized castle architecture with new defensive features, and sparked a cultural exchange that brought everything from Arabic numerals to new foods into European life. Even today, historians debate their impact on Christian-Muslim relations and their role in shaping the modern Middle East. Today, Jerusalem remains a city sacred to three major religions, and people still struggle with many of the same issues that drove the Crusades. The big difference? We can now look back at this period and learn from it, understanding how these medieval conflicts helped shape our modern world. So what do you think? Could something like the Crusades happen today? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this historical journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. See you in the next video.